Do you need to wake the hell up? Well, this episode of Caffeine Connoisseurs is perfect for you. Introducing Wake the Hell Up Coffee. Now, enjoy this nice and relaxing intro. Welcome back to Caffeine Connoisseurs, and yes, in this episode we are reviewing a brand called Wake the Hell Up, and apparently it's some ultra caffeinated coffee, but we'll see if that stands true as this video progresses. For now, I just want to mention something. I was going to put a sheet over this table because in last week's video I mentioned about how knocking on the table and stuff causes sounds. Even if I just put a bag of coffee down or put my coffee cup down, it makes knocks on the table and you can hear that. And I was going to put a sheet over the table, but then I put the sheet over the table and I was looking at it, and in the video it just didn't look good. The gray surface looked perfect the way it was. I like the gray surface that I have of my cheap Costco table, and I think I'm just going to stick to this and deal with the bumps. And I was thinking, if I hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year, so December 31st, 2020, if I hit 1,000 subscribers before then, I will make a meme video of every time I've made that bump sound on the table. I'll do it if I hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So that means make sure, if you're not subscribed, to go subscribe down below, like the video to promote it in the YouTube algorithm, and yeah, tell a friend to come and subscribe, because you'll get a pretty cool 1,000 subscriber special if you tell your friends and get me to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Anyway, now let's get into the coffee. So I'm going to review the caffeine first because I haven't been doing that, and I mean, the name of the channel is Caffeine Connoisseurs, so I figured that I should actually talk about the caffeine content of the coffee before too late in the video. So I just want to say, for something that advertises itself as ultra caffeinated, I wasn't really that impressed because it still doesn't compare to Death Wish. So the overall caffeine content of Wake the Hell Up is only about 200 milligrams from what I could find. I couldn't find many sources online to actually tell me how much caffeine this coffee has, but from what I could find, it's about double the amount, or 50% more than your average cup of coffee, and that is anywhere from 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine. So I'm just taking a guess here and saying that it's somewhere in the ballpark of 200. Now, even though it doesn't hold up to something like Death Wish and my camera just went extremely out of focus. Hey, camera. Hello? I don't know how long it's been like that. I'm gonna have to fix it. Okay, that destroyed my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying now. Oh yeah, so it did keep me awake throughout the day. I did feel like maybe sometime this afternoon I could go for another cup of coffee, maybe, but I didn't because I knew I was going to be recording this video late tonight because I'm backfilling a bunch of videos for my trip to Texas that I'm taking in a couple weeks. But yeah, so I feel like I could go for another cup, and that's not entirely bad because I do like having more than one cup of coffee per day. But if you have an extremely high caffeine tolerance, like I've seen from some of the comments on my Death Wish video, this probably won't do it for you. You may want to stick with Death Wish, and I know I reference Death Wish in every single video I make, but it's just sort of a standard. It's just the standard, extremely strong, powerful coffee and everything. So I just used Death Wish as a baseline, I guess, and it was sort of one of the first videos I posted on this channel. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to go watch it. I'll leave a card in one of the corners of the screen if you haven't seen it. But yeah, that's sort of my baseline that I go for everything. But as a sort of a conclusion on the caffeine, yes, it's good. It's about 200 milligrams, so take that as you will. If you have an extremely high caffeine tolerance, it probably won't do much for you. But personally, for me, I mean, I drink a lot of caffeine every single day, and it still kept me awake, got me awake this morning. So now onto the taste and the flavor and all of that, and I want to sort of do a breakdown of what's in this coffee, because one of the things that I actually noticed, nowhere on the bag does it say 100% Arabica beans, because normally if you get high-end coffee or whatever, it will say 100% Arabica beans on it, but I noticed on this one it just says 100% all-natural coffee, so that leads me to believe that they use a mixture of Arabica and Robusta beans, and Arabica beans will provide you with the rich flavor that coffee has to offer, and then Robusta beans, they're normally a little bit lower quality. And I know if I get any of this wrong, I'm going to get flamed in the comments, so go ahead, if I'm misspeaking or anything, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and correct me. But Robusta beans have a lot more caffeine while being a little bit lower quality bean, so I think they did that in this to be able to boost the caffeine content. So I'm not complaining or anything, but it doesn't have the richness that I would expect in a higher end sort of coffee like this. But it is sort of a specialty coffee. It's not your normal grocery store brand that you would go and buy, so I would expect it to use a little bit higher quality beans, but I understand why they did what they did to be able to boost the caffeine content. And this coffee is a medium dark roast, which I prefer, like a pretty dark roast coffee. And from what I could taste from this, it's a little bit lighter and it's not full bodied, because I really like full body coffee. That is what I like. But this is a little bit thinner, lighter. It doesn't have that kick that you normally have with a normal cup of really good coffee. And even if you make it a little bit stronger, like normally what I traditionally do is about 8 ounces of water to about 2 tablespoons of ground coffee, or about 10 grams of whole beans to 8 ounces of water. So at that ratio, it doesn't exactly kick you in the face. It is a little bit weaker and not as dark as I prefer coffee to be, but I can give it a pass on that because some people like that type of coffee. Yeah, and even now, just drinking it, this is actually the first time that I've had it today, other than, of course, this morning. This is the first cup of coffee I've had this afternoon. And I say this afternoon, it's like 9:41 at night, but it is a lot weaker than I prefer coffee to be. So this coffee would probably be really good if you like a weaker sort of coffee, but want a high amount of caffeine, because normally the killer caffeine content coffees that you have out there are super dark, super bold, they're bitter and all of that, where this, it isn't actually that bitter, it doesn't have that much of an acidic aftertaste, and overall it tastes pretty good. It's just not what I enjoy. So if you like a weaker brew coffee, or just need a lot of caffeine but don't like extremely strong coffees, this would probably be pretty good for you. Yeah, I'm just not getting as much flavor out of this coffee as what I like to, and now I'm sounding like a real coffee snob, which is probably why you're here. But yeah, I'm just not getting as much flavor out of this coffee as I normally would like in my regular coffee. So I guess in conclusion, I'm going to be sticking to my normal coffee for now. As I mentioned in like every video, the coffee that I drink every single day is Lavazza, and even though it's not the most high-powered caffeine content coffee out there that you would probably think me drinking, because my channel's name is Caffeine Connoisseurs, I just really like the flavor of that coffee. I understand the appeal for high caffeine content out there, and I can't really say much because sometimes I just randomly drink Death Wish because I like Death Wish, but also caffeine content. But yeah, so in conclusion, it's a weaker coffee. If you enjoy a weaker coffee and want high caffeine, then this would probably be good for you, because it is about twice as much as the normal cup of coffee. Anyway, I guess I'm going to end the video on that note. If you want to buy this coffee, you can go down in the description below and click the Amazon link. It will give me a little bit of a kickback if you purchase with that link, and it will help me out a little bit. And if you want to help out even more, you can go and like the video to tell YouTube you enjoyed it and it was a good video, and subscribe with notifications to be alerted when I post every single Monday. I'm backfilling a lot of videos right right now for when I'll be gone, as I said in the beginning of the video. So yeah, there should be videos for a couple weeks to come, and I will see you next week. Peace.